This episode of Test Drive is made possible by RateMyEV.com.
Welcome back to PRN Test Drive. I'm James, and this week I've been driving the Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack EV. Yes, EV is the controversial word in there. And look, I know Niall already did 2 videos on it, but I could not let him have all the fun. Also, my Charger EV is in red, looks way better. And just judging by the comments on that video, you guys seem to love to hate it and absolutely hate to love it. And so I just had to see what all the fuss was about. Is the hate warranted? Is the, hating on people that love it warranted? Why? Why do you guys dislike this thing so much? And I gotta say, after spending a week with it, I get it. I will admit that yes, Dodge missed a big opportunity here in terms of the new platform. Even just in terms of it being an EV, there are some things that Dodge could have done a whole lot better. I will agree with you that it needs a V8. It should have been the first one out. Yes, that's completely fine. But at the same time, I kind of like it, and I'm not gonna hide it, and you can't make me hate it. I don't hate it, but I do get why a lot of you are upset by it. And I also kind of wanted to see how a Dodge Charger like this, a 2-door, a massive 2-door, kind of performs as like a family vehicle. That's what I intend to do this week. I'm gonna get groceries. I'm putting my daughter in the back seat, putting my wife in the back seat, seeing how it all fits and seeing how much room it actually has. In case you're a dad like I am and you kind of want something sporty and you're looking for an EV and you want something that's fast, and honestly, this is the most interesting EV I have ever driven. So yeah, this kind of fits the weird parent kind of thing. You don't care about V8s, you like EVs, and you want a muscle car. Well, now there's the Dodge Charger, and I think that's really interesting. So I'm gonna take you through it. I'm gonna tell you what you need to know if you are in the market like myself as a dad, and you wanna see what you can do with a family in a Charger EV. Let's get into it. So powering our all-electric Charger is a 93.9 kilowatt-hour battery, and it is the dual motor setup across the board, which means you do get all-wheel drive across the board. With the PowerShot active, the maximum output of this thing is 670 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque, which is blindingly fast for this otherwise more or less heavy electric vehicle. In terms of the range, Dodge says it will do 388 kilometers at 100%. I saw just into the 400s, so that is pretty decent. But I don't know if you're buying this EV because of its range or its practicality for its range. I think you're more interested in that pretty massive horsepower number. So this would be a proper Charger video if I wasn't able to launch it. So let's give that a try. Press the launch button, full brake pressure, full throttle, and go. Oh my God. Ah! Oh my God, that wasn't even with the PowerShot. Let's do that again if we can here with the PowerShot. Let's fully do it. Here we go. So launch, full stop, PowerShot. Let's go. Oh my God. Ah. Oh my God. I'm sweating. That made me sweat. Whoa, that's fast. Holy moly. Yeah, it would not be a review if I didn't start it like that. Hell yeah. Oh my God. Okay, now that I've financially and physically recovered from that, let's get into it here. So, look, I don't hate this thing, and you can't make me hate this thing, but like I said in the beginning of the video, I absolutely understand why a lot of you have a problem with it, but I'm not really going to be able to compare it to other things. Like, I can't compare it to the Hellcat. Obviously, yes, it's faster, but it's an EV. I feel like you can't compare an EV to a gas car. It's just not fair. So I'm just going to compare this thing to other EVs and also just kind of talk about what it's like to do or live with as a family, because that's what I've done this week. So first of all, this thing is still really fun to drive. You saw me launch controlling it. It gets looks left and right. I've had people, follow me, wait till I parked in a parking lot, and then come up to me just to ask me questions. A little creepy, but kind of cool at the same time, especially if you're an enthusiast. I love to talk about it anyway. So I've had people come up to me while I'm at the charger station, just everywhere. So if you like attention, Charger EV's got it. And I mean, it's really fun in a straight line. And you could make the argument that, you know, there's stuff like the Tesla Model S Plaid that can do it, that can, you know, have the straight line performance, so if that's what you're looking for and it's maybe cheaper. I get it, but I don't know, I just feel like the styling of this thing, the show of it, because it does have that Fratzonic speaker, the fake noise, sounds like a video game. I'm kind of okay with that, just because I'm kind of okay with the fact that now most manufacturers are doing the pumped-in audio thing anyways. We somehow so quickly got used to that, but then we completely reject a speaker on the outside. But it's like, you guys are fine with your pumped-in audios. I know a lot of you turn them off, and that's fine. A lot of the purists will turn it off, and, you know, they don't like it, but a lot of people are completely fine with it. I've just kind of accepted it because it's just something that's happened. Don't know if the speaker will always be around, but look, I don't hate it, but I get why you don't like it, because while this thing handles like decently well, it handles like a muscle car, but it also has a really good turning radius for how massive it is. It's fun to drive. It's got that low center of gravity. It does feel heavy at times, so like the crazy acceleration could be a lot better if they manage the weight better, I guess. But then again, it's an EV. It's always going to be heavy. So here's one example of a missed opportunity by Dodge, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over here. I won't launch control this time. I'm going to do it from a roll because there's traffic around me. I'll do power shot again, and I'll absolutely rip it. Oh my goodness, God, that's still so freaking terrifying. I wasn't even full throttle because there was a car coming on the other side and I was afraid of spinning into him. Whoa! All right. So, like, you can hear it right now. I have it in, like, the fully loudest exhaust, so I'm abusing everybody. Don't get me wrong, this exhaust is loud. But Dodge missed an opportunity to, like, simulate gears, like in the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Like, I find that sometimes when I'm on the highway, I'm missing the ba-ba, you know, that noise. Or part of, you know, the fun of driving a muscle car is dropping a gear and disappearing, whether that's a manual or an automatic. You know, you pull the paddle shifter, drop it down, and floor it, and just listen to the V8 scream. You don't really get that. It's just this constant drone that kind of gets a little louder when you like let off a little bit. So here, you can hear it now. Like that. And then, but there's no like, you know, I want to be jerked around. I want to be thrown around in my seat. I want to be, you know, absolutely punched in the mouth by the car. And I am, just because of how fast it is, but not because of how, like, you know, you feel the weight shifting of the transfer of the gears and stuff. It doesn't feel mechanical. And I think they had a real opportunity to do that, because when you looked at Niall's video and he did the Ioniq 5N, I never got my hands on it here in Montreal, but guarantee you if I do, there'll be a video on it. But still, it doesn't matter, because like you saw in that video, a visceral gear switches was really cool, and it tricks your brain almost into thinking that, hey, that guy's driving an actual automatic somehow, and somehow it's an EV. That's really cool. Dodge just missed it with that. And I guess also, if they were going to make this their first ever EV to come out, like the first new generation Charger lineup, maybe they could have given it more horsepower, make it something like 1,000 horsepower, make it something so stupid that people can't hate it, you know, because, oh my God, it has 1,000 horsepower, that's crazy, you know, and it maybe would help kind of justify the full price point. Other than that, though, when it comes to the family aspect, at least during the ride quality, because I will actually show you the backseat a little later, when it comes to the ride quality and stuff, it's actually really comfortable. Like, my wife has sat in the backseat and stuff like that, and in the passenger seat pretty much everywhere, and really said it's really comfortable, not noticing a lot of the big bumps. She was expecting it to be a lot worse, so you don't necessarily expect the comfort to be there. But I could, you know, do long road trips in this if the range was there, which it is simply not. I think, you know, even just above 400 is not enough to really make me feel safe. But for my commute, the things that I would use it on a day-to-day basis, I could make 400 kilometers of range work, and then maybe like 350, 300 in the winter. I could make it work because I'm not driving that far. But for those that are, to constantly be sitting at the charger for long periods of time would absolutely not be great, especially if you have your kids in the car and they're impatient. If your daughter is like mine and doesn't really like doing long trips in the car, having to sit at a charger because you have no other choice is really not going to be a great thing. But at least while you are on the road, it is comfortable enough. Now, I want to talk about visibility. It is good, but the second you put your baby seat in there, it kind of gets cut off. So I got a blind spot there, but I do have like a blind spot camera that comes up in the instrument cluster or in the infotainment display, which actually helps quite a bit. I can see kind of what's going on everywhere, and that kind of helps deter or it doesn't like affect me so much. that I have to like completely lean forward and it's not so much of a dead zone, but it is something to get used to. Trunk space is good. Got the front trunk as well, like I'll show you in a little bit. But yeah, so in terms of the family aspect, in terms of just the driving, it's comfortable. I wish the range was better. You do wish that the performance was better to justify the price, but that's okay. So that kind of covers the driving. I don't want this video to be too long, so let's quickly talk about the interior. You could hate, again, I think I'm going to say this multiple times, you can hate the fact that it's an EV, but Dodge actually did a really good job with this interior, if you ask me. I love this genuine carbon fiber everywhere. It's worth mentioning, again, that I do have all the bells and whistles, so fully loaded, this is what you get, top end. So carbon fiber everywhere. I love the ambient lighting that goes all the way around from the driver's door all the way to the passenger door. It looks really good. It is called the attitude adjustment. So you can adjust your attitude adjustment in terms of the lighting. See, it's got a bunch of different colors. It's very bright. You can see it all day and all night, and I really appreciate that. Other than that, I do have 2 memory seat settings. The seat is ventilated and heated, as well as the passenger seat, and they are both power adjustable. Very nice to see, although it probably adds weight. I don't care. I kind of want that kind of functionality in my Charger, so that's really good. Checking out the steering wheel, it's kind of like a square steering wheel, I guess. So you got Tesla that's doing the yoke and Dodge that's doing the square. That's cool. I don't know what to call it, but I like it. I like how it's easy to grip from any angle. It's easy to have, like, you know, the Charger cruising. I don't look cool doing that. I'm pushing 30 years old. But I do like the way that the steering wheel looks. There's physical buttons everywhere. You can change your drive modes from here. So drive modes, you have drag, track, sport, auto, which manages it for you, wet, snow, and then custom, where you can kind of go in and change everything in terms of like exhaust sound and stuff like that, so I can have it be quiet. But obviously I drive around in the most obnoxious loud setting I can, so I always have that in track. But yeah, so you can control all that stuff from there. Very, very nice. The paddles on the steering wheel here are for regeneration, basically, and nothing else. And that's okay. So I mean, it's an EV, so I'm glad we have at least somewhere where we can change regeneration. I'm usually always on 1 pedal drive. I like it. I disable the creep. It's an EV. I'm going to drive it like an EV. Got a heads-up display, which is a nice little touch, and then the digital gauge cluster is really nice. It'll switch up the themes based on what drive mode you're in, so I like that as well. You can kind of customize different things as well, typical kind of Uconnect and Dodge fashion. Looks really good. It's a little on the laggy side when it's kind of changing themes and stuff like that. It's a little delayed, like when I switch back from auto to custom or drag, like it does kind of take its time a little bit. It's the classic kind of Dodge thing, so I'm used to it. Would have liked to see that be a little faster though, but it shows me my range and stuff like that, all the stuff that you want to see. In terms of the infotainment display, it's running Uconnect, which I always have. For some reason I get unlucky. Like when I first got in, my CarPlay wouldn't connect. I had to reset the system by holding the power button, stuff like that. Sometimes I'll have like a little Apple CarPlay like glitch or whatever. It'll like pause the music for a second and then unpause it really quick. Sometimes when it happens when I go over bumps. Could be something that's with this vehicle. I don't know specifically, but it was interesting. If you like physical buttons, there are some like haptic feedback buttons, so hopefully that makes you happy. But if it doesn't, well, you're stuck, because this is all you're gonna get. It's just straight up little tap buttons that give you like a little tap feedback back, and that's it. Tap feedback back, that's all you get from it. But at least it does have backlit buttons. It is kind of easy to use. It's quick access to control the climate, but everything else is going to be controlled in the infotainment display. You have the performance pages. You also have the dash cam recorder, which I also couldn't get to work. I tried a couple times, but I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to that. I think, I don't know. I'm not even gonna try. Anyways, it's there if you can get it to work. I think I need more than a week to kind of tinker with it and figure it out. I just don't have that time this week, so there it is. But other than that, it's quite easy to use. Once you sit down with it, you're gonna get it, no problems there. I do have the launch button as well. I've got a wireless charging pad. I love this pistol grip shifter, really, really nice. I also love that sunroof as well. It's definitely an option I would take. Adds a lot of light into the car, but also it is tinted very nicely, so it doesn't make the car feel like an absolute sauna, which is really, really important. But yeah, overall, interior-wise, I like it. I like the little button to open the door. I like the little weird stuff. Maybe I just like weird things in vehicles. We'll see. I mean, I have some interesting vehicles coming, some weird vehicles coming, so we'll see if that stays true. But look, for the interior, I feel like the design, they did such a good job, at least for the front. One thing I will say that like kind of like what Niall said is a little embarrassing when I start it up and I'm like trying to be quiet and stealth, and it starts up and it sounds like a you know a fighter jet about to take off of an aircraft carrier, just full beams, and then it quiets down. It's like you make everybody look at you for 3 seconds and they're like, oh, you know, it's kind of like, ooh, sorry, you know, didn't mean to do that. But it's kind of something that I like and don't like. Depends. If I'm in like a crowded area with a bunch of other people that are pointing at the car, I want to give them a show, I want to do that. If not, well, I kind of want to be stealthy. So one thing I can't speak to you about is reliability in vehicles. In the case of the Charger EV, I've only got it for a week. It has had a couple of gremlins, so that's why you got to check out our sponsor for this video, RateMyEV.com, because that is where real EV owners are leaving their reviews. So they're living with it for way more than a week, for months, a couple of months at a time. You can go there, you can check out a real owner review. They'll tell you how it was to charge, how it was to live with, how the reliability has been, and you can get a really good idea before you even walk into the dealership to buy your next EV. So RateMyEV.com, go check them out, let them know that we sent you. But yeah, I like it, and I'm not gonna be ashamed of it, and I think you should let other people like it as well. I don't think that, you know, the hate is as warranted as a lot of people are giving it. It's an EV. Let's talk about it like an EV, and that's it. You guys were completely fine with us. Well, you know, we kind of accepted the fact that the Mustang Mach-E exists because there's so many of them out on the road. I don't think the same thing will be the case for this one in the Charger EV, just because, well, it's expensive and a lot of people just don't have the money for it, or they're not in the market for it. It's just like a weird specific kind of buyer type thing. All right, so let's talk about the exterior very quickly. I'm not going to do a full tour because Niall already covered that pretty well, but I do want to talk about it because if you hate everything else about the Charger EV, you hate that it's an EV, you hate the way, you know, that it drives or whatever, I don't think many of you can hate the way it looks, because it looks so good. It looks really, really cool. There is like this retro yet classic look to it that I really, really enjoy. I think they've done a really good job here just in terms of looks. I love the light bar. I love kind of like the front rear wing that we have almost. It's like a really big opening that you could see the air go right up and down through. Really, really cool. I love these rims here too with these massive Brembo brakes. I do have the track package as well, so I've got these huge brakes. They're the biggest brakes I've ever seen on an EV, possibly on a vehicle at all. Front trunk is there, easy to access if you need to from the inside, so at least there's a button. There's no button on the exterior, and there's also no button on the key fob, but that's all right. Again, love my paint color. Think it is better than the gray that Niall had. I also have the sunroof that's gonna black out the top. That looks really good. And then if you look at it from the back, well, now it's a hatchback, so you get a lot more trunk space on offer, or at least that's what I think, and that is just a great deal for me. And then we get to the most controversial part, the speaker. Yes, the straight pipe speaker, that's what I've been calling it all week. It is a interesting thing. It sounds like a video game. It sounds more fake than it does real. But then again, you can make the argument that, hey, a lot of cars nowadays are pumped in audio, and not a lot of people mind that. A lot of people complain about it, but at this point, we're all accepting it. So at what point do we accept fake sounds? I don't know. You know what? I don't hate it. Once again, I don't hate it, but I get why some of you also don't like it. It's an interesting thing. It's more of a party trick. It's fun to show people, like, hey, look at this. You know, look how ridiculously loud. But it's fun that I could just constantly rev it and I'm not worried about damaging anything. I can just, because it's just a noise. It's not doing anything. And then last but not least, for the rear, I do like that light bar as well back there. It looks like the classic Charger again, but also like new age. They've refined it really, really nicely. That's why I say, if you hate everything else, you really can't hate the design. Also, this thing is screaming for a wide body. It looks good as it is, but a wide body on this thing would be insane. And one thing I don't want to forget to mention is I like the fact that there's carbon fiber on the interior, but there also is a little bit on the exterior with these mirrors. We've got carbon fiber on our mirrors, which looks, again, very good with my red paint color here. So let me know what you think about the exterior. I know you probably don't like the fact that there's a V8, so you're probably not even watching this video this far into it, but look, the exterior, Dodge have absolutely nailed it. I have very, very little to complain about here. Okay, so let's take a look at the back seat. I'm not on the camera right now, but I will be, but I gotta kind of do this fast because I only have enough space for a limited time, because It's easy to get in. That's not the issue, but you can see the seat is starting to come back to me already. It's not supposed to happen. I don't know why it keeps happening, but it's very, very awkward. So like, this is enough room, but it should be a lot more forward. But no matter what I do, I can't get this front seat to stay forward and not come back. Passenger seat though, that doesn't happen in. But what's really cool is back here, I have a ton of room, a ton of leg room, a ton of headroom, well, a decent amount of headroom. And I've also got heated seats, and I've also got vents and 2 USB-C ports. So like, there's a good amount of stuff back here. There is a middle seat. Don't know why anybody would sit there. There's no room for that, but there's enough room for my baby seat right here, which fits really, really well. Absolutely no issues. And yeah, I didn't really have that much problem even installing it, because like, there's enough room in here. I thought I was gonna break my back in 8 different ways, and that absolutely didn't happen. I was able to get in here and crawl around back here and tighten the thing up and do what I needed to do. And I think once she becomes a forward facer, it'll get even easier. So good to know. And I could even fit another baby seat over here where I'm sitting right now and still have plenty of room to drive. That is pretty impressive, but this is a big 2-door coupe. I will say though that these headrests are pretty much useless if you're taller, because I don't know if I'm in the camera, but if I sit back all the way, I'm not resting my head on the headrest. I'm basically resting my head on the roof. It's kind of interesting. But if you're short, no problem. You'll be able to use that headrest. I'm glad it's there though, because if I did need like a baby mirror or something to attach it to a headrest, it's still there. I could still attach it to that. Got a little window back here, but yeah, really not bad. I'll put the seat all the way back and you can kind of see, you won't be able to see me, but you can see what happens. But that's basically my driver profile. And yeah, completely comfortable back here. All right, so that's about going to do it for everything I wanted to show you in terms of what it is like to kind of live with as a family. It gets groceries very well. It fits the baby seat. There's a ton of room in the back, and it's also fun to drive. So when your kids aren't in the car, you can absolutely rip this thing. Look, I understand the problem with this being an EV, and I get the disappointment surrounding that. Completely, totally understand it. But in the same kind of vein, I really like this thing. I think that Dodge missed a lot of opportunities, but not enough for me to absolutely want to turn my nose up at it, especially if I'm in the market for like an enthusiast EV. Because like, no, it's not practical. It doesn't have a lot of range. You know, it's not a V8. It's got a big old speaker in the back. It's weird, it's wonky, and that is part of the reason why I think I like it. Because I've driven so many cars that are exactly what they should be. V8, you know, like the Mustang, something like that. V8, crazy fun, manual, you know, the whole 9. But there's just, this is not weird, it's normal. And I think I'm in the market where I kind of like the weird vehicles, and the Charger EV just kind of falls in that category. And let me mention one thing before I get out of here. We didn't accept it. There's still a whole bunch of people that complain that no, it's not a Mustang, but like, there is so many Mustang Mach-E's on the road, it is crazy. So we've kind of accepted that, right? I don't feel like the same thing will happen with a Charger EV because it's so expensive. It doesn't have enough range to the people that are genuinely looking for like a daily driver EV and not like a fun car kind of thing, or like a fun EV. I don't even know if there's people that do that. I guess I'm one of the people that would do that. Like those kind of people, okay, they you know, they're gonna want the Mach-E. They're not gonna care about this, but we still call that a Mustang. So I mean, it was accepted. So if Dodge fixed the price point and, you know, lower it a lot, which honestly that's been happening because these things are not selling well. Let's be honest, they are not selling well at all. This is worth like over $100,000 if you just, you know, spec'd it out on the Dodge website. But if you actually look at the dealerships, I've seen some in my area for like $59,000. $60,000. Like, they are discounting them heavy. I think the dealerships are having a hard time getting rid of these things. They're not keeping them, getting rid of them. They are trying to get rid of them and they can't. No matter what incentive they put, it's just not happening. So that's one thing that is, you know, you're right. If you're saying it won't sell, you are absolutely right. It won't sell because it takes a very, very specific buyer. But if I am currently talking to that specific buyer and you are a family man and you like the 2-door look better than the 4-door, you can do it. You can do it. It will fit your baby seat in there. It will fit your wife in the back seat. It will take all your groceries. It will do a small Costco run. It will handle that stuff. And yeah, it absolutely rips. It doesn't get old, and there's show to it. There's show to it because you do have that Fratzonic Forza video game speaker out the back, and you can abuse everybody in the neighborhood just like you could with a V8, I guess. So that's about going to do it here for me. Make sure you like, subscribe. And if you want to check out our sponsor, RateMyEV.com, make sure you go ahead and do that. They are a great tool to have when you are buying your next EV. You can find our videos there on all our EV reviews. And if you actually own it, go ahead and write your own and let people know what it is. And let them know we sent you as well. With that being said, I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.